I don't think much of your idea of fun. Are you telling me you staged all that nasty business to make the doctor think I was in danger?
We recorded it to distress him. But I'm afraid you really are in danger. The choosing is only a preliminary, but still an important ceremony in its own right.
What do you mean, ceremony?
Exactly what I say, my dear. The priest, in this instance myself, inspects the chosen one and finds her acceptable. In token of this, his knife takes a first taste of her blood. As I said, it is only a preliminary.
Preliminary to what?
To the great sacrifice, of course. A ceremony of dedication to the old Teutonic gods. You, my dear, are to be the traditional virgin sacrifice. I do hope you are qualified. It doesn't matter, of course. We won't let a mere technicality stand in our way. I made most of the sacrifice ritual up myself, but it impresses Himmler, and that's what matters. Time's getting on. I do hope the doctor won't be too long. I'd hate for him to miss your big moment.
Right, the castle must be Himmler's, but that's hundreds of miles away. Ace is there, and so is Kriegsleiter. I have until dawn tomorrow for this ritual, so there's still time. Ah, now they must be expecting me. Now, for a little experimenting.
Ah, the transmat is activating. Shall we welcome the doctor? It's a trick! He's tampered with the booth. He's here, somewhere. Search the tower. Search the whole castle. The doctor's here, and I want him alive.
Lucky landing! Overshot a couple feet, but now on to Ace. Weapons area, training area, mind control section, central command. Oddly familiar setup, Dr. Kriegsleiter. Hang on 1 minute. Kriegsleiter. D.R. Kriegsleiter. Der Kriegsleiter. One simple German title meaning, of course. The War Chief. Well, he couldn't have spelled it out much more plainly for me, and I thought he was dead.
Doctor, this is the War Chief. If you are here, Doctor, and I am sure you are, make your way to the main chamber of the North Tower. But hurry, Doctor. Your young companion is here, and she will soon be in some distress. Make haste if you want to arrive while she is still alive.
You see the principle, Doctor? My laser cane is a precision instrument, but the risk to your friend is constantly increasing. If I miscalculate, she may lose an ear, or a finger, even a hand or a foot. Oh, she won't die, and I'll be sure to leave enough of her in one piece for our purposes.
Doctor, if you're there, don't come out. He's just bluffing.
All right, show's over. I am here.
Quite an entrance, Professor. Don't worry. They can't scare me. Honest, Professor. Me, screaming and fainting.
You've got to stop clinging to this macho image. In your place, I'd have been screaming the place down ages ago.
My place isn't too good at the moment. I hope you've got something up your sleeves.
Several somethings. Remember, whatever I do, react naturally. Ah, come for a good gloat. It's the usual procedure in these situations.
You've changed, Doctor, but not very much. You are still an insignificant little man.
Well, I tried tall and dignified and all teeth and curls, but it didn't really suit me. I may not have changed much, but you have if you really are who they say you are. They never did find your body.
I was shot, Doctor, several times at close range with Warlord energy weapons. Would you care to know how I survived?
I've got a feeling you're going to tell me.
The Warlord's troopers were about to dispose of my body when they realized I was still alive. You know how amazingly tough we Time Lords are, Doctor.
You're a Time Lord, like the Professor.
Not at all like me, I hope. We come in all sorts, just like licorice. I'm sorry, do go on.
They called one of their scientists, and he was so amazed. He ordered me sent back to their home planet. They were starting to retreat by then. I was on the last trip to leave.
Why did they bother with you? They'd be far more likely to finish you off.
Oh, there was no thought of curing me. They threw me in the ship's hold and I started to regenerate. Because of my injuries, the regeneration aborted. Would you like to see what an aborted regeneration looks like, Doctor?
Professor, that's like two bodies smashed together.
I will leave you to imagine the state of the skull. As you see, I conceal it as best I can.
Regeneration therapy on Gallifrey is very advanced. They could help you.
At this stage? I doubt it. If they cure me, they would then send me to death. Unbeing.
Which reminds me, that fellow I got a glimpse of out there, he was sentenced to temporal dissolution.
This is his son. There is a strong family resemblance.
Tell me something. Why did you leave the Time Lords in the first place?
The final irony, Doctor. I had risen so rapidly in the hierarchy, the CIA sought to have me removed. I fled just in time.
I'm afraid Brucer became ruthless in pursuit of his ambitions.
Did he ever become president?
For a time. He's pretty inactive now and likely to stay that way for some time. But this doesn't explain what you're doing here and now.
Gaining my revenge on you.
I don't follow.
I came to the attention of the new warlord. I told him how his father had been destroyed and convinced him there was only one way to wipe out that shame you inflicted on us.
And that was?
The best was to come up with a plan for galactic conquest that would succeed.
You could hardly be sure I'd turn up again to see it in action.
I spent years studying your record, Doctor, and it seemed likely interference with history would bring you out of the woodwork, so we found a way to penetrate the barrier the Time Lords had placed about our planet. Then we made our plan.
Now I suppose we're going to hear all about that too.
I intended to show you something of our operation, but as you please. You have long hours before you and little to do with them. But if you prefer to, you could stare at the walls until it is time to die.
Oh, no, come on, Ace. Let's not be ungracious. There's nothing to read, and the telly's hardly been invented yet. We may as well take the tour.
I have brought our guests, Warlord. I thought it might amuse you to explain your plans for the final conquest of the galaxy.
Our plans, War Chief? You are too modest. This is a great pleasure, Doctor. I've been waiting a long time for a chance to meet you and repay my debt.
Oh, don't think of it as a debt. Spoiling your father's evil schemes was my pleasure.
The basic idea of that first plan was, to say the least, a little overcomplex.
Let's be honest, it was a madman's flytrap. A dog's breakfast of a plan. It was starting to go wrong even before I turned up.
There were certain problems.
Precisely, a dog's breakfast.
However, we were still convinced that Earth was the best planet for our purpose, that the human race had the best characteristics to form our army of killers.
Oh, they're a bloodthirsty little species, all right. Often said so myself.
Professor?
Quiet, Ace.
So we made use of the time-scanning equipment provided by our friend the War Chief to study Earth's history. And we found all this. A nation. A government dedicated to the same ends as ourselves. Most of our work was already done.
I see what you mean. Unquestioning obedience, total ruthlessness, naked aggression, this lot are pretty well brainwashed already.
Exactly. Do you realize, Doctor, that these men all undergo 2 years of brutal training before they are permitted to call themselves members of the SS? When we take them over, they are preconditioned. A very slight adjustment, and the process is complete.
You there! See, Doctor? There is so little humanity left in them when we take them over. It is a simple matter to remove the rest. Helmet! Grenade! Watch closely.
Quite a party trick.
Believe it or not, that is the standard SS training exercise.
Oh, no, waste not, want not, you know.
Medical section. They do not fear pain or death anymore.
Well, why should they? After all, they're not really alive. And what do you plan to do with your zombie army?
We shall rewrite Earth's history, Doctor. First, we shall ensure that Hitler wins this war.
And how do you propose to do that?
Adolf Hitler is a flawed genius. We have accentuated the talents.
By boosting the powers of oratory?
Quite so. He has an extraordinary power to arouse raw emotion in a crowd. If that power is boosted, the results are quite amazing.
We saw.
What you saw was the effect of Hitler's natural powers, boosted by me sitting in close range wearing this, a simple psionic amplifier. This cloak covers more than my deformities when necessary.
We shall correct the disastrous errors of judgment. France will be overrun just as before, but this time, there will be no fatal delays in the following victory. Britain will be overwhelmed.
And what about America?
If England is conquered quickly, America will adapt the fact. There's a strong isolationist party there as it is.
And Russia?
The treaty will be kept. There will be no attack on Russia. Not yet. That was the second mistake. We consolidate our grip on the continent. We move carefully one step at a time. We provoke war between Russia and America. So the two giants destroy each other, and we take over what remains. We shall achieve our goal. A Nazi Earth.
And even that is only the first step. We shall force the pace of Earth's scientific development. When we are ready, we shall conquer the galaxy.
A Nazi galaxy. In time, a Nazi universe.
A warlord universe with you lot pulling the strings? How do you plan to work it exactly?
That is not finally decided. The most obvious way was to work through Hitler. He has remarkable powers. He is the focal point of the whole regime, but he has become strangely unreliable, and we are finding it harder and harder to control him. We fear a complete breakdown.
Won't this put a bit of a crimp in your plan?
Not at all. We shall simply replace him with Himmler. Since he already controls the SS, it will be even simpler.
And Göring?
Too individualistic. He will be disposed of.
How much does Himmler know all about this? The brainwashing, all the high-tech stuff?
Very little. He accepts this tower as a sort of inner sanctum and stays away. I have more to show you, Doctor. With your permission, Warlord.
Of course.
Don't even think of escape, Doctor. You are in a fortress within a fortress with guards everywhere. You have only the illusion of liberty. This is a side entrance. The main door is at the rear. I assure you the blood is from chickens, cats, and the odd lamb. Tomorrow will be our first attempt at the real thing, so to speak. I felt something more impressive was in order. We were going to use one of our young SS men, but you arrived so opportunely.
Yeah, just my luck.
Now, Out here?
That isn't.
It is indeed, Doctor. A fully automated atomic reactor. When the time comes, the Führer's rockets will have nuclear warheads.
But you'll destroy the planet!
We'll only use them on larger countries. Russia, China, America. They're big enough to soak up a bit of radiation. And there'll be no retaliation.
What makes you so sure?
We shall be the only country with atomic weapons. Well, Doctor, that concludes what you are pleased to call the tour. I think you should return to your quarters and rest. A trying time awaits you.
Well, you've made your plans for Ace abundantly clear. What about me?
Firstly, you will attend tomorrow's ceremony and witness the death of someone you... love? Care for, at least. Then... You remember my side rats, Doctor?
Primitive time machines with a limited shelf life.
An accurate description, if unkind. We shall require the location of your TARDIS. Once that it is ours, we can reproduce it. Conquer time as well as space.
Out of the question.
You will tell us, Doctor. We shall take your mind to pieces like a watch. Of course, one or two parts may be broken, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
Once I have wrested from it the secret of the TARDIS, your mind will be of no further interest to me. The Warlord scientists can even manage a simple brain transplant. It isn't the body I would have chosen, but it's infinitely superior to the one I have. When this is over, I shall be you, and you will be a crippled mind in a crippled body. Time to go, Doctor.
Where is Ace?
She is being prepared. Don't worry, you'll see her soon. Put this on, will you? Formal dress for the ceremony. I hope you enjoy it. I cobbled it up from the more colorful bits of Teutonic mythology. I trust Himmler appreciates all my trouble.
Himmler's coming?
My dear Doctor, the whole thing is largely for his benefit. We assemble in the courtyard, then we file in through the main entrance.
Herr Reichführer!
Herr Doctor, you are here after all.
I decided that you were right, that it was necessary to come. I have grave news that concerns the Führer himself.
You will come away at once, Doctor. How dare you annoy the Reichsführer like this?
Let the Herr Doctor speak.
I am sorry to say that this man cannot be trusted. He plans to remove the Führer and replace him.
Replace him? With whom?
With you.
Is this true?
It may have been discussed as a possibility.
Never will I subscribe to any action against the Führer.
Oh, if I have erred, I am sorry. I submit myself entirely to your guidance. But may I urge you that we discuss these matters after the ceremony? The dawn is approaching.
We must not lose this moment. Afterwards we will settle this matter once and for all.
Then shall we proceed? We pray to the great god Odin for his blessing on this our ceremony. We pray for his guidance and knowledge in defeating our enemies. We offer him sacrifice in return, sacrifice of a pure maiden, with her blood on this holy altar. We shall take our victory.
No!
What is the meaning of this, Herr Doctor?
I wish to prove my loyalty to the Reich. There on the altar lies my niece, the person I love most in all the world. To Dr. Kriegslieder she is nothing. But if I sacrifice her, That sacrifice will have true meaning. Was it not you who said we must lay all that we hold most dear on the altar of the Reich?
A noble sentiment, Herr Doctor. Perform the sacrifice.
Will you really go as far as this, Doctor? To save your own skin?
Try me.
Decapitation is the prescribed method, if you hadn't guessed. And do try to get the head off in one stroke. Nothing spoils a ceremony more than a lot of inelegant hacking about.
Is this the last of it?
There is only one other matter, my Führer. A rather strange and worrying affair.
Tell me.
It is a complaint from the duty officer at the Bendlerstrasse. It concerns Reich Marshal Goering.
Well?
Apparently, he arrived unexpectedly and demanded the immediate provision of an armored column on his own personal authority alone. As soon as it was assembled, the Reich Marshal took charge of it and left Berlin.
For what destination?
It appears that his destination was Drakensberg, one of the castles acquired by Reichsführer Himmler for use of the SS. Dr. Kriegsleader is using it for certain researches.
I know of the place, though I have never been there. Our Reich Marshal plans to visit...
More than that, my Führer. My understanding is that he is planning to attack it.
Run! I thought you were drugged!
I was just shamming, scared stiff. Well, to be honest, I was scared stiff. I mean, talk about leaving things to the last minute.
Halt!
So much for Superman. Give me that gun.
Why?
Because you're too squeamish. Where to, Professor?
Up. All the way to the top. Stop. I hope you're not enjoying this too much.
Just a bit of my own back, Professor.
Right on cue.
What is it? And who is it?
The what is an armored column. The who is our friend Hermann Göring, playing the part of the US cavalry.
How did you persuade him to do that?
I telephoned him before I came down here to join you. I told him Drakensberg was a hotbed for treason.
And he believed you?
Well, why not? It's what he'd do to Himmler if he had the chance. I also told him I'd give him positive proof.
And can you?
I'll think of something. And down there he is, iron fatty in person.
What's going on?
In this instance, not enough war. Pass me one of the shells from that rack, would you, Ace? And if that goes here and we press this...
What'd you do that for?
Sending both sides into a rage. Those SS zombies aren't doing so well. They're so fearless, they're easy to kill. A good soldier doesn't die for his country. He gets the enemy to die for his. Time to go, I think.
How?
I've got a surprise for you, actually. One little job and... Hang on, what's this?
Surely that's...
I'm afraid so. Come on.
Ah, here's the Herr Doctor. He will give us the truth of things. Well, Doctor?
It's all perfectly simple. Himmler, in an attempt to gain valuable knowledge for the Reich, gave some encouragement to a certain Dr. Kriegsleader in an organization called the Black Coven.
I am aware of this. Dr. Kriegsleader gave me much help and advice.
To begin with. But unfortunately, and indeed treacherously, these men developed ambitions of their own. Unknown to the Reichsführer, they plotted to overthrow you on the grounds that you were no longer capable. I discovered the plot and informed Himmler, which we discussed earlier, did we not?
Yes, indeed. You put it very well. It is exactly as the Doctor has said.
I could never doubt your loyalty, my faithful Heinrich. But I am at a loss to understand the presence of my Reich Marshal leading my army troops in a battle with the SS.
The doctor said he told me.
Allow me to explain. I took the precaution of informing him that there was treachery afoot. He commandeered an armored column and attacked at once. The traitors have been overcome.
Excellent. Heinrich, Hermann, you will return to Berlin with me. I shall now explain my plans for France and England. The force that visits me is now my servant. The Doctor taught me to control her.
I did?
In the Chancellery, you taught me to control her with my will. Last night she came again, and I tamed her. Now my mind is clear. My will is strong at all times. I shall win this war, conquer the world, and then worlds she tells me of. Goodbye, Doctor.
I think we may have lost this time, Ace.
But what about the war chief?
I don't know. It troubles me.
I need not trouble you. For the Doctor, the world ends now. Soldiers! The old Prussian army had a favorite expression. Corpse discipline. These are the elite of my elite. While I live, they cannot die.
Quick, Ace, to the tower! Right to the top. I'll be with you in a minute.
What did you do?
Through their atomic reactor into overload.
How long have we got?
Not very long. Now move!
Hold it! We've been chased to the top of the tower by a gang of zombies, and your solution is to blow the tower up with an atomic bomb.
That's right.
Professor, we're on top of the tower. The one you are blowing up.
Not for long. There's one chance, just one.
Okay, you can start by telling me how you whistled up the TARDIS like that.
The whistle was symbolic. It focused my mind while I sent out a powerful thought impulse to the TARDIS's telepathic circuits.
So we could have got away from that ghastly place whenever we wanted.
Well, not really. I didn't dare risk letting the warlords get their hands on the TARDIS. I didn't want to leave until I'd sorted things out. As it is, I've made the most terrible mess of things.
I thought we won.
A Pyrrhic victory. We never fixed the real problem.
Because of the Timewyrm.
Exactly. The Timewyrm was looking for someone to use as a figurehead to manipulate human history. She chose Hitler because he lived in explosive times, but Adolf's mind had all the strength of madness, and the Timewyrm was trapped inside. She boosted Hitler's powers in an erratic sort of way by just being there, but they couldn't control each other.
Then the warlords came along.
Like the Timewyrm, they were looking for a human puppet to make use of, and Hitler was just what they needed. It was a bit like kicking a time bomb to keep it ticking.
But you sorted Hitler out.
Oh yes, I did a wonderful job. In order to not change history, I taught Hitler to cope with the Timewyrm. I overdid it and ended up teaching him to control her. I'd forgotten that megalomaniacs like Hitler have a colossal strength of will.
Looks like you've just set up a winning combo, Professor. So what can we do?
There's just one chance. If I can intervene just once more at the right point, we're going to a place codenamed Fel's Nest in a particular night in May 1940 with this.
That's what? 9 months after we left? Can you time things that close?
I must.
And where does this lantern come in?
I shall use it to light up the recesses of Hitler's mind and reveal the Timewyrm.
You've come to bring me light as usual, Herr Doctor.
I hope so. How goes the war?
Very well indeed. Poland is ours, of course. Holland and Belgium have been overrun, and in France my armies have encircled the enemy and reached Abbeville. Bologna and Calais have already fallen, and General Guderian's Panzer Division is about to cut off the only remaining port. Some little place called Dunkirk, I believe.
A magnificent achievement, and the credit is yours. All yours.
Mine and the power within me, Doctor. The power which you taught me to harness and control.
Oh, you are too modest. The credit is yours. This so-called power is nothing beside your towering genius.
No, Doctor. The power within me must have its due.
What power? Some pathetic ghost wandering the universe looking for a free ride. I know all about her. The Timewyrm, she calls herself. Well, the worm bit's accurate enough. Burrowing for safety into the mud of this pathetic planet. She's nothing.
Nothing, Doctor? You dare say I am nothing?
Nothing and less than nothing. Still, I suppose you found your level, risen to the top like the cosmic scum you are. But then, what are you after all? A tame witch doctor serving a petty human warlord, helping him to rule his mudball of a planet?
A servant? I turned this pothouse politician, this street corner ranter, into a man who could rule a country. Now, if I choose, I will give him a world, a galaxy. I will rule through him, rule and destroy.
You pathetic cosmic poltergeist! Go and smash a few cups, slam a few doors, frighten old ladies in the night! You're not a power, you're just a petty nuisance! You bore me! You're trapped in the mind of a madman and you know it! Soon you will burn him out. As he grows older and madder, you too will wither away. Of course, if you were to be housed in the mind of a Time Lord...
Do you offer me an alliance, Doctor?
I offer you a fair fight, here on your own ground. Away from the TARDIS, I can free you from this human's mind.
And then?
My mind is yours if you can take it.
Very well, Doctor.
Then come out of your hiding place and fight, Timewyrm!
I am free. So you dare to challenge me, Doctor? Do you know who I am, little man? I am the Timewyrm. I am invincible. I shall swallow your mind, take over your TARDIS, and then I shall be the supreme power in the universe.
The power has left me, Doctor. What must I do? Tell me!
You must let the British Army go. Even though you're at war with the British, you respect them. You admire their empire. Let their army go home. Postpone your invasion, and eventually they will make peace with you. They will become your allies against the Bolshevik hordes.
Yes, you are right. There will be no further advance on Dunkirk. No further advance.
That's the idea. Come on, Ace, we must go.
You are leaving, Doctor? But what will become of me?
You will fulfill your destiny.
Okay, Professor, talk.
What about?
The lantern. What was that all about? And the Timewyrm. Is she destroyed?
Oh, I doubt it. The lantern was a telepathic relay. I used it to extend the TARDIS force field and use the power of the TARDIS to help me free the Timewyrm from Hitler's brain. I couldn't even do that properly. She's swirling round the void in an unfocused storm of anger. She'll get herself together again. She shall return eventually. But in the meantime, let's see where we began.
Well, you did it. You put a stitch in time.
We did it, Ace.
This time we've definitely done good.
Want to visit the Pavilion of the Future?
I'm hungry. How about a cuppa and a bun? Goldstein? I thought it was gold.
What can I do for you?
2 teas and 2 buns, please.
Very good cup of tea, this.
Terrific bun.
Well, they give us extra rations for the old festival. Nice to be able to give people something decent for a change. You gotta admit it. Things are getting better slowly. Look, it's even stopped raining.
How about a free cuppa?
And a pound out the till.
Oi!
Let him handle it.
You whop it before I come round there and clip your ear.
You a new house.
Him and me for a start.
Any trouble?
Them? Trouble? I survived old Hitler's Blitz, mate. I should worry about the likes of them.
Off it, boys. All right, Harry?
Fine, ta. Want a cuppa?
Later, maybe. What's that music?
And those lights?
Where you been? Got a fun fair, haven't they? Over in Battersea Park. Funny old world, innit?
I like fun fairs. Do you like fun fairs?
Yeah, why not? Come on, Professor. He's right, you know.
Who is?
Him. It's a funny world.
I know. But it could have been a lot worse.
Well, it has been, hasn't it? But we sorted that now. Like I say, we done good.
All my enemies will suffer. All those who have scorned and despised me will be annihilated. But those two, that man and that girl, they will be the first to suffer!
You are making excellent progress. Soon, very soon, you shall have your revenge.